The Fiio FH9 and the Fiio FH5s. Let's talk about them. These are two IEMs from Fiio. We're going to be talking about the Fiio FH9, which is about $500, and the Fiio FH5s, which is about $250. Both of these are on loan from a friend of the channel. They're both older content, and there's a reason I'm doing these together. Maybe you guys can tell me in the bottom, but let's start by looking at the build quality of this pair of IEMs. Let's first of all take a look at the Fiio FH5s shell. I like the look of this shell. It looks virtually the same as many of the other Fios out there. It is MMCX. It's a nice looking IEM. I just like the fit and feel and look of it. I mean, it's nice, it's metallic. The FH9 is silver. It looks and feels good in ear. It isolates well. It has a nozzle that you can change out. It's a nice IEM overall, and it fits and feels comfortable. It's kind of vented in the front, which is, kind of a nice thing. The packaging overall of the Fiio FH9 is a lot better, but it's almost $300 more than the FHs. So you do get a little bit more, and there's a nice set of tips in here. For the Fiio FH5s, it looks almost the same. The cable of the Fiio FH9 is nice. I like the look and feel of this cable. I want to see it's an 8-wire cable, the working shin slider, and you can swap its terminations on the end. Now the Fiio FH5s is basically the same. The wire is more prone to tangle. It's not nearly as exciting. But it's a nice cable, I guess. Chin slider stays in place. It's kind of silvery, but it's tangle prone and not nearly as nice, but maybe not worth, I'm not sure if the Fiio FH9 cable is worth an additional $300 over this. So how do these sound? The Fiio FH5s is a very, very audiophile tune set, which is a little bit outside of my wheelhouse to the point where I don't really like it. And that's part of the reason it's not getting its own video, but I think it is very beautiful and it has nice packaging. It's interesting, but it doesn't quite hit the snuff. It has a lot of upper treble. Now the Fiio FH9 is an interesting set. I've heard a lot of people talking about it, and some people even say when it came out that it was benchmark worthy, and I haven't really heard it before this time, so it's interesting to be able to kind of hear it now. And I think this one's a little bit better. It doesn't hit me in the right sensitive places. I think it's an enjoyable set. I think it's in fact a good set, and I think people might like it. Is it that extraordinary of a set? Not necessarily, but it is an interesting tonality that works for me a little bit more. It's kind of what I call a U-shape. Has quite a bit of treble, quite a bit upper mids, and it is very kind of warm, which kind of is an interesting tonality to have, especially in a set like this. It is nice, it's clean, it's clear, and vocals sound nice on it. Let's look at some graphs, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right, let's look at the Fiio FH5s graph. And you'll notice that it just has a ton of upper mids, a ton of treble. Its upper air frequencies aren't bad, and its bass isn't bad, but it has so much treble that it just kind of counteracts it all for me. But it's not terrible, if that makes sense. There's enough bass to kind of help drown this out, that it's not a bad set. And listening to it, I in fact kind of like it. But it's one of those things where I kind of like it. I accept it. It's nothing I would want to use on a daily basis or ever purchase for myself or keep as a benchmark. It's just unfortunately kind of mid. As we look at the Fiio FH9, that's the one we're going to mainly focus on. You'll notice it has a little bit more warmth here, has a little bit less of that kind of 1K peak. It does have quite a bit of 3K and a little bit of energy here. Has way less 5 to 6K energy and a little bit more 10K energy. So to me, the Fiio FH9 is a little bit more fun, kind of what I call a W-shaped, where it has kind of high mids, high upper treble, and high bass shelf, which kind of helps counteract this and make this a little bit more palatable and actually kind of pleasant and fun. But it is interesting. I wanted to show a couple other IEMs that kind of came out right around, maybe around this time, but something that's kind of interesting. Like the one I really like is the Soft Ears RSV. If I had to compare this to other things, very flat mids, very little bit amount of bass, not as extended upper treble, but it's also a lot more neutral and a little bit more monitor-like in comparison. If we look at some other IEMs, Fiio, this is Fiio's IEM that came out last year, which is the Fiio FD10. Our FD1 FH5. This is a really nice IM. It's about $150. It's a lot cheaper than either of these IMs. It's packaged well. It has a fun case. It has nice upper mids, nice gradual amount of bass and treble, extended upper mids and high. I couldn't really get it to fit with me without extreme tip swapping, and it wasn't super comfortable as the Fiio FH10, but sonically I thought it was way superior and really, really nice. There's other IMs out there I like. I really like the Fiio FH19. I thought it was really nice, a little bit better than this guy. Then this is overall just kind of an okay set. There are other IMs around this price. Now the Fiio FH19 is a lot more, but does price always equate a good IM, or is it kind of an experience, kind of something fun to try? And that's oftentimes what it'll be. At least that's kind of at least my perception of what I've had with this. Another Fiio I really like is the Fiio FA19. You'll notice a little bit less upper treble. It's a nice set. It's not going to be for everybody, but there's a lot of other sets I think Fiio does right. But the Fiio FH9 was kind of interesting. Again, had a very warm, different tonality that I think might be for some people, but not for everybody. The Fiio FH9, in fact, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the FX15, but the 1.5, you'll notice it has a ton of extra treble right here, right around 6K, and this kind of helps subdue that, and I think is a better overall tonality. All right, let's rank these guys up. You can kind of see what I have coming down here in this section of the ranking list. Since we're doing a duo, I wanted to leave them right here so you can see. So the Fiio FH9, I don't really find it to be benchmark worthy, and like if I had to give it a star rating, I'd probably give it a 2-star. As far as the Fiio FH5s, probably like a very hesitant 1-star, maybe 2-star. It's very bright. It's not terrible. I can see how people would like it, but it's very upper trebly, and that's kind of my concern with it. I recently added a new section down here. I might talk about it in a video if someone wants me to, but I'm calling it my 5-star rate IEMs down here. And you can see I wanted this just to be a screen of IEMs where the ones that I really recommended, the ones that I really thought that were worthwhile. And then you can just kind of click on this and boom, these arrive and you can kind of see what you have. I'm still having IEMs listed by brand. And if you look here, I really like the FH9, but it's, it's $500. The FH9 is about the same price, but I would go with the FH19 instead, as I think it's just a better overall tonality. But there's other IMs out there I think you can get for a cheaper price. But just talking from Fiio, the Fiio FH7s, it just wasn't. It was pretty good, and the Fiio FH5s, I think it's just kind of weird. And I've gotten the chance to kind of demo a bunch of these Fios as of late, and then some of them are, just not for me. Sometimes the tonality will work for you and sometimes it won't. And in this particular circumstance, the FH5s really didn't work that well for me. But I do kind of admit that the FH9 has kind of a unique charm, amount of detail and sparkle and amount of warmth that I think people are going to like, if those that have it. The IM market itself is kind of at a crazy place. I got both these IMs here, and it's hard for me to sometimes recommend IMs, sometimes you guys, because it's so tough because they're so flavored. They're so not like studio or even organically fun to something that I personally would gravitate towards. Both of these are interesting IEMs. I'm glad I got to be able to demo them, but neither of them really hit me in the feels to what I feel is a good value IEM. I feel like there's other stuff even from the brand that's a better place right now. I like Fiio. I think they do great stuff. I'm excited about their new headphones that they have coming out in the next few months. They have a couple new, I think it's what the Fiio 1.3, it's like a new close back. But there's a lot of neat stuff coming out from Fiio. They do a lot of neat things, but it's not always going to be a hit with everything they do. Some of it's going to be a flavored approach and something that you may or may not like. So it's hard sometimes to recommend having brand loyalty. You have to kind of demo things yourself, see what you like, and see kind of how things fit in their roster. Although depending on how you look at it, I kind of like how there's a lot of different things here. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Go!
Go!
Go on with you!
You're mid, you're mid, you're mid, you're legendary. You're mid, Jaytis out.